Welcome to another edition of Chaplain John with Chaplain John Sayers, featuring special reports and interviews with people doing kingdom ministry in Tulare County and beyond. And now, here's Chaplain John.
In the 1960s, a new spark happened dealing with the civil rights movement. I said this was new because the history of our country, I believe we've always strived, we haven't been perfect, to live up to the Constitution or even the preamble, we the people. And I guess you would say that it was the civil rights movement that maybe even brought in the Civil War. But in the 60s, Martin Luther King, along with other nationalities, sparked again what I would call the civil rights movement. Now, note, I said nationality, not race, because there's really only one race, and that's the human race. Our skin color may be different, but we're all in the human race. And I think Martin Luther King would agree with that. I had it might have been 5 or 6 years ago. I had an opportunity that we had a chaplain convention, and we had we had a day off. It was wonderful. And Chaplain Mandy and I, with Good News Jail and Prison Ministry, that's when I was a chaplain in the jail, we actually got to tour where Martin Luther was born, the first church that he preached at, the house he lived in. We walked along streets that the civil rights movement maybe began and moved all the way to Washington when he read this with this great speech, I Have a Dream speech. But I remember going into his house, which is now kind of converted into a souvenir shop. That's okay. And Mandy and I were walking. There was this old black man that he was running it, volunteering. He volunteered to run the souvenir shop or something. And we're looking at all these things. Well, I found the I Had a Dream speech. And I picked it up, and you could get a copy of it on a scroll. Oh, I can't find what the scroll is, but you can get a copy of it. Just Google I Have a Dream speech. And I started to read it, and I didn't realize I was reading it out loud. I didn't even realize that people were standing around me, all nationalities, right? They were listening to me read this. And when I got done reading it, this old black man said, "Son, I knew Martin Luther. I walked with Martin Luther. And he would have been proud the way you read that speech." I was just, well, I'm going to read it again. And the dream speech. And I tend to read that at least once a year. And I've done this as a YouTube before, and I'll do it next year because I need to read it out loud. I'm doing this for me. So I can, we don't worship Martin Luther King. He had faults like all of us, but the dream should be all of our dream. And that's why that's why I celebrate Martin Luther King Day, because of the dream that he shared with all of us. So, saying that, let's get into the dream. And I'm not going to do the whole dream, the whole speech he gave that day, but let me just give you part of it. Let us not wallow in the valley of despair. I say to you, my friends, we have difficulties of today and tomorrow. I have a dream. It's a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meanings of the creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. I have a dream. One day, out of the red hills of Georgia, the sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will be able to sit down together at a table of brotherhood. I have a dream that one day, even in the state of Mississippi, a state sweltering with the heat of oppression, will be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. I have a dream that my four little children will one day live in a nation where they'll not be judged by the color of their skin, but by their character. I have a dream that one day down in Alabama, with its vicious racist, with its governor having its lips dripping in the words of interposition and nullification, that one day, right down there in Alabama, little black boys, little black girls will be able to join hands with the little white boys and little white girls as sisters and brothers. I have a dream. I have a dream that one day every valley will be engulfed, every hill should be exalted, every mountain shall be made low. The rough places will be made plains, and the crooked places will be made straight, and the glory of the Lord shall be revealed in all flesh, and see it together. This is our hope. This is the faith that I'll go back south with. With this faith, we'll be able to hew out the mountains of despair of stone hope. With this faith, we'll be able to transform the jangly discords of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood. With this faith, we'll be able to work together, pray together, struggle together, go to jail together, to climb up the freedom together, knowing that one day we'll be free. This will be the day when all God's children will be able to sing a new song. This will be the day when all God's children will be able to sing with new meaning. My country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride. From every mountain, let freedom ring. And if America is to be a great nation, this must become true. So let freedom ring from the hilltops of New Hampshire. Let freedom ring from the mighty mountains of New York. Let freedom ring from the hiking Allegheny of Pennsylvania. Let freedom ring from the snow-capped Rockies of Colorado. Let freedom ring from the gracious slopes of California. But not only that, let freedom ring from the Stone Mountain of Georgia. Let every mountain ring from every hill and molehill of Mississippi and every mountainside. When we let freedom ring, when we let it ring from every tenement, every hamlet, from every state, every city, we'll be able to speed up the day when all of God's children, black men, white men, Jews, Gentiles, Protestants, Catholics, will all be able to join hands and sing that, in the words of that old spiritual, free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we're free at last.